Okay, so this is a casual sketch and started on a white canvas, and don't mind working on a white canvas anymore, and because it's going to be painted in any way with the drawing tones and everything. So I just started with the burnt sienna sketch and just indicating which of the items goes where. And here, my main objective is not to focus on the subject matter itself, but rather the season or maybe the time of day. And this is a good exercise to increase the thinking power of an artist, because a lot of times the artists in today's world are limited to the photographic references, and this is something to counter that and create some sort of a meaning. I haven't got to the meaning part in this particular painting, but in future I will introduce a lot of different subject matters to this theme to create a story out of it if possible. And here I started with Prussian blue, and Prussian blue is a very powerful color, so this will be a good exercise to practice restraint rather than having too many things at your disposal. And I'm using a very simple palette: titanium dioxide, yellow ochre, and Prussian blue, and a crimson lake, and a burnt sienna. That's all. It has got these five colors, and they are quite capable of creating any painting. And I'm using this particular palette, and it might change in the next painting, but I think it'll give me a good solid footing. And here I'm using violet color, a mix of crimson and Prussian blue, and it's giving me good quality violet, no problem, and slight mix of yellow ochre to mute it a little bit. And here I'm using what I call is a toothbrush grip, as well as some vertical strokes to create some dynamism into the painting. And it's more or less consistent with everywhere that you see in this particular painting. The idea is to create some sort of energy too in this very static kind of a composition, and there is some dynamism, etc. So today's painting may not be like the best um, of any of these, but in future, if I continue to paint with on this theme, then I think you will be able to create some sort of a meaning. And I think um, Monet did it from life, and he painted so many series paintings, and when you see them together, you will be able to understand that there is some value to it. And I hope this will create that sort of a feeling uh, to the viewers. But these are small sketches for my training and not for any kind of exhibition or anything. So here I'm just putting down muted cool colors, and also fixing the sky a little. These are vertical strokes that I saw in so many, older paintings. And this is the kind of technique that I wanted to employ in this. And it may be a little bit different in the next, but, you can create endless variations with one particular theme. So you don't need to be, you must not feel that you're limited with one particular theme, and then that's over. There are many artists in the past who did many, many, many series paintings of the same subject under different light, different conditions, and together, when you see them, they will create some sort of identity of that particular theme. And here I'm just trying to expand my mental horizon a little. And here I'm putting some yellowish marks to counter the violet and blues. Here in this painting, I'm not painting very differently compared to what I do for the finished paintings, and maybe some amount of glazing, etc., slightly bit more finished, but this is more or less the same that I have. And there is no variation whatsoever in basic painting approach. And this is how I do my drawing. This is how I put the colors, and this is like what you see here is the end of the modeling phase, and I can refine it further, but there is no point in spending so much time on this particular painting. But approach is to create a direct painting rather than waiting for months to finish one particular painting here. And this might give me some advantage in finishing a painting faster rather than waiting for months to finish and thinking about it, looking at it. So, in terms of speed, I think this is going to be valuable. I do a lot of plein airing, and they are finished on the spot, and I generally don't go back to them and try to maybe add a little detail here or there. But overall, they are finished at that particular spot. But since the time is limited and you need to finish that particular painting within 1 hour at max two, there isn't much time to think about how to make that particular painting look better compared to, you know, painting in the studio where you can think about, going beyond what you are seeing and making that painting look more beautiful. And here I think I'll have that sort of liberty because I know how nature works, and I'll continue to expand my horizons through painting plein air, but apply them inside the studio. And this will give me some advantage in thinking about the composition as well as the speed of painting. So let's see how does it turn out. Overall, I think I am quite happy with the way it looks like. And I will add a little bit of a moon later on, since this is evening and eastern sky. Brushstrokes are scrubby and they are just used in such a way so that they only provide an impression of what I was seeing and not a detailed account of what was there. And it's just a sense of immediacy that must be there in the finished painting. So this is what I'm doing. I'm adding a little bit of highlight as well as oranges in that shadow area, because the highlight is quite cool and there is no direct sunlight at this point because the sun has gone to the other side, and here we have the moon, so it's just an indication that there is some highlight. And adjusting here and there, and this is what I think will mature me further, and quick thinking as well as quick execution. Here I'm adjusting the final bits of this particular tree and adding some sky holes here and there and branches so that it looks more realistic. Here I'm adding a crescent moon and just appeared and doesn't need much attention at all because it's just new moon. And here I have some final touches. So if you like this video, then please click the like button and also subscribe for more videos in future, and remember to click the bell icon so that you get notified when a new video has been uploaded. To see my paintings as well as look at my other paintings that have been done in the past, then please go to my website www.kaustavandfineart.com. And I thank you for your time and take care.